Hi, this is Ray Flanagan with episode 4 of the Potato Heads podcast. I'm here today again with Sheri Goodman Graham. Sheri has a page on Facebook called Plant-Based Whole Food for Health, Weight, and Longevity. She's a longtime nutrition coach and good friend, and we're excited today to have her back on again. Sheri, what do we want to talk about today?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Ray. It's my pleasure. I would love to talk about the buzz about protein. The reason why is that it seems to be coming up again. You think we would be over it, that we all know, that protein is something that we all get plenty of in a whole food plant-based diet, but I find it's coming up all the time. So maybe we could just clarify some of the things about protein. How's that sound?
It sounds great. I think what they talk to me, whenever I tell someone I'm whole food plant-based, they think your muscles are all gonna, fade away to nothing, and you're gonna be walking around skin and bones with no muscles. They have no idea how much protein is in plants. So tell me where, that's the question that I've been trying to answer. As a matter of fact, I have my protein shirt on. Here it is. It says with my book. I made this shirt with this gorilla. It says, well, where do you get the protein? So where do you get your protein?
Get your protein. That's a good question. What makes me think of this health journal that I wrote of, which food has the most complete protein, that is the most balanced based in the world?
Not sure.
Human mother's breast milk has the right amount of protein in order to nourish the most fastest growing animal is the baby. They need the most amount of protein, but actually they only get 1% of protein from the human mother's breast milk. Yeah. So it shows you don't need too much protein to grow. You just need the right amount, and of course the right amount of amino acids, the essential and the total complete amino acids, which I want to talk about. But that's the problem when we start giving our children cow's milk, way too much protein. They don't need that much protein, and so therefore it turns to fat. So if you have too much protein, where are you going to store it? You're going to store it as in fat, just like fat and carbohydrates. So we need just the right amount of protein. And I want to give everybody out there a little math lesson to figure out how much protein do you need for your body. Do you want to write it down so we can do you as an example, Ray?
Sure.
Let's do that. Yeah. So what they say in the health journals is everybody needs 0.8 to 0.9 kilograms per gram. 0.8 to 0.9 grams of protein per kilograms of weight. Well, we use a different metric system. We use pounds. So I've done the conversion. It's really easy. So it's basically, you take your ideal weight, not your weight you weigh right now, what you would really like to weigh, your ideal weight. What's your ideal weight?
My ideal weight would probably be 160.
Okay, so write down 160. Everybody else out there in the audience, write down your ideal weight, and then you multiply it times 4. Yeah. You might have to do that on a calculator.
Yeah. That would be 640.
And then you divide it by 10.
64. So 64 grams of protein per day.
64 grams of protein is all you need. And that's so easy to get in the plant-based world. It's the tricky part about the protein is making sure that you get all of the amino acids. And let me explain a little bit briefly, science lesson in amino acids. There's 20 amino acids that we have in our body. We manufacture 11 amino acids in our body. We don't have to worry about, our body's magical. But there's 9 essential amino acids that we need from food in order for them all to work, in order to build hair, to build nails, to build muscle, to build skin. Protein is a building block, and it is important. But so are the other nutrients as well. So when you think about, how much protein you need, we need to get 9 essential amino acids from our food. Now, a complete protein is in the animal. That's, the chicken, the fish. So that's why it's really easy for us to get complete proteins. However, we do have a few foods in the plant-based world, soy, for example, the soybean is a complete protein, just like the egg. So we can do edamame beans, we can do soy, tempeh, and soy milk. The other complete protein is quinoa. Quinoa is another complete protein, and we can get that, you know, that's easy to find in the shelves. Buckwheat, that's another complete protein. So these proteins, and hemp seeds, these proteins I just named have all the complete proteins, just like an egg, just like a piece of steak, any of those. But however, we can still get the essential amino acids we need from legumes and nuts and other animal, even our whole grains, even the fruits and vegetables, broccoli, they all have protein. Are they complete protein? No, they're incomplete protein. So we can mix them all up together and we do make complete proteins. The key to plant-based diet is getting a variety, because if you just eat black beans and you just eat tofu and you just eat soybeans, you're missing some of those other essential amino acids. So I'm here to say, just mix up the amino acids, have tofu for lunch, have black beans for dinner, you know, have, you know, some oats for breakfast, you know, maybe some lentils, mix up your amino acids, but there's amino acids in all of our foods. And so we do get plenty of protein. We get just the right amount of protein. And like I said earlier, if you eat too much protein, you're going to store it as fat. And the research says is we only need 20 to 40 grams of protein per meal. That's all we can absorb. That's all we can use. And if you're not going to use it, you're not going to be working out, you're going to be sitting at your desk eating all this protein, it's still going to be stored as fat. Now, protein does keep you full. Protein is the building blocks. It's important to get your right amount of protein. But I just gave you the mathematical figure to find out how much protein do I need.
Yeah. And you know, certainly, you know, you talked about mother's milk. We don't drink mother's milk for 18 years until you go off to college, do you? And the cow, you know, the purpose of cow's milk is to raise a calf to be a 700-pound cow as quickly as possible. So a calf doesn't drink the cow's mother's milk forever. But in this country, we like to advertise that you never outgrow your need for milk, right? I mean, you know, they talk about, you know, that if you don't get the calcium from milk and all that protein, that your bones are going to be brittle and you're just going to fall apart. So you never outgrow your need for milk. It's a lot of baloney, isn't it?
Yeah, my pediatrician used to tell me to make sure my daughter's getting plenty of cheese and milk so that her bones will grow. It's really quite contrary to that, because look at all of the osteoporosis is from eating too much dairy and too much meat. Cancer, heart disease, all of this is coming about from us focusing on so much protein. And in the agricultural world here in the United States, they're promoting that because they want to sell milk and they want to sell meat. So they're saying that we need this amount of protein that's way over than what we need. So if we're focusing on protein, we're getting sick from eating too much protein, because that's where the saturated fat is in the animal and the dairy. So we want to eliminate the animal and dairy, we want to eliminate the saturated fats and eat all these whole food plants that I just mentioned to you. And in a variety, you'll get all the amino acids you need to build your building blocks to get the right amount of protein. I don't really think anybody is now malnutritioned from not having enough protein.
Yeah. And, you know, it's really a humongous business, isn't it? With the protein shakes, protein bars. Half of those protein bars are loaded with sugar to make them taste better. And, you know, they've convinced the public that we really got to, you know, mix in these protein shakes and protein bars. Otherwise, your muscles are going to be gone.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's why I wanted to start out. It's becoming more and more popular now. Everything on the top of labels is like extra protein, protein, protein. It's just another way of us, you know, buying packaged goods, packaged foods at the grocery store. And we don't need that much protein. As I said, when you figure out what you need, like for me, for my weight and for how much protein I need, I really only need, and what I gave you in that figure is a little overestimated because I wanted to cover the barcode. We really almost need only 10 grams less than that, but it just, since everybody's bodies are different, everybody's at different age, it's covered. So if you aim for that amount of protein, yours is 64, mine is only 45. It's
Yeah.
so easy to get that. And you want to divide it up. You don't want to eat too much all at one time because it's not going to be utilized. More protein doesn't mean you're going to build muscles. You know, lifting weights is what builds muscles. Protein helps you repair what we tear down when we're lifting, and that's how we build muscles. So protein is really not a big issue in the plant-based world. And plus, we're saving ourselves from any of those diseases that you get from eating all the saturated fats from the animal proteins.
And all the animals that are providing us the protein, the cow. I mean, where's the cow? Are cows eating steaks and hamburgers for lunch or something?
Good
What do the
point.
cows eat? What are the cows? Cows are eating plants,
The
right? They're
cows are eating the plants.
amazing. Yeah. Is your horse a meat eater?
No, my horses are out there eating grass and they love carrots, they love broccoli, they love vegetables, and they're muscular. Now
They're
they're getting a little too much, they're getting fat because they're eating too many grass. So that's what I'm saying. You can eat too much protein or too many carbohydrates and it turns to fat. You've got to figure out just the right amount of what you need to eat, especially if when you careful, with adding in so much protein because you're trying to reach your protein needs because everybody's talking about more protein, more protein. It's just more calories, and too many calories that you're not utilized stores as fat. And then you're wondering why you're gaining weight. It's probably part of the reason is you're eating too much protein.
Yeah. All right. Well, is that good for now?
I think so. I hope I gave everybody a little protein lesson. I hope.
All right.
Now
Well,
you know how much protein you need.
you can find them. I just went online before we hopped on about vegan protein and the sources chart, the top 25, and certainly your soybeans came in 31 grams, tofu 21.8 grams, edamame 18.5, chickpeas high. All these things, tremendous amounts of protein out there in plants.
And the key is just to eat a variety so that we get all the different amino acids. We need the 9 essential amino acids. So we got to mix them up and vary our diet. And that will keep you getting the right building blocks to build the right amount of protein.
All right. Thank you, Sheri. We'll talk
Thank you,
again.
Ray. It was nice chatting about protein.
All right.